This is the Rita Cosby Show.
Boy, are we in one big hot mess. And President Biden, if you look at his approval ratings, they are so bad. I mean, the biggest issue for everybody right now, it is the economy, it's the inflation, it's gas prices. Most states across America now have at least $5 a gallon gas. I mean, this is outrageous. And tomorrow, we know that the Federal Reserve is expected to basically have its biggest interest rate hike in 30 years to try to maybe somehow get a handle and get inflation under control. I mean, this is a really tough time in America. And Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they are fed up with this president. If you look at some of the numbers on inflation, here's a latest poll. This is an ABC News Ipsos poll, not exactly a right-leaning poll by any means. And on inflation, approval, 28%. Disapprove, 71%. Gas prices, 27% approve. Disapprove, 72%. These are stunning numbers. These are Jimmy Carter numbers, guys. Now we've got also crime, 61% disapprove on his handling. These are really, really bad numbers. And yet, Joe Biden is in la-la land. I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? He gets out there today and he's in front of the AFL-CIO at their big, union conference. Very friendly crowd because he's a, pro-union guy and unions love the Democrats. And here he is out there basically, touting whatever he can. And I couldn't believe he actually said this statement. And everybody across America is talking about it today because think about when President Trump, pre-COVID, the economy was soaring. It was doing great. He was getting huge numbers. Even the people who hated his tweets or hated different things about President Trump, he was getting enormously positive numbers on the economy before the coronavirus hit. And that happened around the country, around the world, as we know, coronavirus. But he was always doing super well with the economy. Even the people, his biggest critics were like, well, I can't stand this or I can't stand that or whatever, but I love the economy, right? So Joe Biden had the audacity today as he is before a group of labor leaders and many of their supporters. I couldn't believe that he actually said this. Think about right now, your 401k, it is tanking, sadly. Your gas tank is having a hard time getting filled because it's costing a lot of money. There are police departments across this country where they're cutting off 911 calls or limiting them because they can't afford to go out to all the different neighborhoods because gas is costing so much. And Joe Biden thinks the economy is soaring. I mean, this is like he's on Mars. Take a listen to what he actually said. And of course, he couldn't miss the opportunity to try to somehow take a swipe at President Trump on this. Listen to this one.
Do you remember when our economy was like what it looked like before we took office? 3,000 Americans are dying every day from COVID. 20 million Americans had lost their jobs in the last guy. In fact, so many Americans lost their jobs that my predecessor became just the second president in history to leave office with fewer jobs in America than when he took office.
How disgusting is that? And the reason I say that is we all know that the coronavirus hit. And remember, President Biden said, as soon as I take office, that coronavirus is going to be gone. We're going to get a handle of it. And does it look like he got a handle on it, guys? He couldn't even get out the vaccines. He couldn't get out the tests. And most of that was all teed up for him before he even came in because of Operation Warp Speed. He couldn't even get that part done. And how disgusting to say under the last president, 3,000 people died today. What is this? What are we like a firing squad or something? Like that President Trump was responsible for the coronavirus? And President Trump was responsible for businesses closing down. I mean, that is like such a disgusting low blow. And to there's this little thing called the pandemic or whatever. And then today, not only did he slam President Trump, he slammed all the Republicans. I mean, it's like, what, are you kidding me? This guy has spent so much money. His gas policies have like ridden us to the ground. And yet it's all because of the Republicans. That's why things are so bad in America. Take a listen.
The problem is Republicans in Congress are doing everything they can to stop my plans to bring down costs on ordinary families. That's why my plan is not finished and why the results aren't finished either.
Oh, boy. So he couldn't also miss an opportunity to blame President Putin because remember, even though prices were escalating like there was no tomorrow before Putin and before he invaded Ukraine, it's always Putin's fault, remember?
I'm doing everything in my power to blunt Putin's gas price hike. Just since he invaded Ukraine, it's gone up $1.74 a gallon because of nothing else but that.
I swear, it's all Putin. I swear. Even though he didn't invade until February 24th of this year, and we've had problems basically since this president took office. But, oh, my God, I must have been thinking about Putin. You know, maybe somehow I got Putinized, whatever. I mean, this is the craziest thing that he wants everybody to believe it was either President Trump's fault or it's Vladimir Putin's fault. But God forbid it ever be Joe Biden's fault. And this guy is so out of touch to the point where now many Democrats are coming out. There were 50 of them that came out in a New York Times anonymously, but some have come out publicly. But they actually spoke to the New York Times, again, not a right-leaning paper, and said, you know what? Maybe this president shouldn't run again. Maybe he's not doing a good job. You know it's bad when Democrats are saying this. This, to me, is so transparent that even Democrats are saying, this guy just can't cut it, and he's not good for America. Take a listen, because here is Peter Doocy asking the questions. Of course, the White House correspondent, he's in the press room, and he asked Karine Jean-Pierre, the new press secretary, the obvious question. First off, I guess we got to deal with this guy for 2 more years, but please tell me he's not going to run again. Listen to this one.
Is the president running for re-election?
He hasn't. First of all, let's reset for a second. I cannot talk about elections. I cannot be a political analyst from here, or the midterms or anything like that, or including 2024. The president, as you know, has been asked that question many times, and he has answered it. His answer has been pretty simple, which is yes, he's running for re-election. I can't say more than that.
Really? Does anybody actually think that he's going to run again? I think there's no way he's going to run again. There's absolutely no way. First of all, the Democrats, I can't imagine them wanting him to run again. It's so bad that they're speaking out. He obviously can't say that. I've covered many elections, guys. I was based in Washington covering White House for many years. There is no president in the world that would ever say that before the midterms, especially at a time where they are worried right now about losing big time to the Republicans. So the last thing he can do is say, oh, I'm not going to run again or whatever. That would send a bad signal for the midterms. They're going to try to get through the midterms. And I bet you soon after the midterms, either he's going to say, oh, I've just decided I just would like to do one. It's time for somebody else or whatever. Or they're going to push him out and say, we are begging you to get out of here. There is no way that this guy can handle physically, mentally. I mean, are you kidding me? He can't even get a sentence out. I mean, without stumbling and bumbling. And it's so bad that Don Lemon, who, of course, always leans super left, Don Lemon actually grilled the White House press secretary and asked the question an obvious question, and she sounded shocked that it came from Don Lemon on CNN. Take a listen to this.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with it. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is not a question that we should be even asking. Just look at the work that he does. Look how he's delivering for the American public. Look, that article that we're talking about is hearsay. It's salacious. That's not what we care about. We care about how are we going to deliver for the American people? How are we going to make their lives better? That's what the president talks about. That is his focus. And that's where we're going to continue to focus on.
Dawn, I can't believe you're asking me that. I mean, think about the press conferences that happened with President Trump. It was like, Mr. President, are you the worst person in the world? Mr. President, I hate you, but I hate you more. Well, A or B, you know? I mean, those were the questions they were asking. And then Don Lemon asked a question that is a pretty obvious one. I would have asked it like the first day Joe Biden took office. And she's like, now that she's up in arms, that Don Lemon asked a question like that on CNN, because it's so bad that now even CNN sees it.